The deep space vessel Orang drifted silently at the edge of the solar system. Its dark hull reflected no light, making it nearly invisible against the blackness of space. Inside the bridge, Captain Da Kim stood with his hands clasped behind his back, staring at the main screen. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Officer Yuna, her fingers flying over the control panel. "It's not like anything we've seen before." Da moved closer. "Show me." The screen changed to display a series of pulses, light patterns that repeated in a clear sequence. "It's coming from just beyond Pluto's orbit," Yuna said. "Started broadcasting 3 hours ago." Dr. Ji-sun entered the bridge, her eyes immediately drawn to the pattern. "That's not random," she said quietly. "My thoughts exactly," said Da. "What are we looking at, Doctor?" Ji moved to a console and began typing. The pattern repeats every 147 seconds. It's mathematical, prime numbers, followed by what appears to be a simple counting system. She looked up, her face both excited and worried. "Captain, this is a message. And it's not from Earth." The bridge fell silent. "You're saying it's alien?" Dai asked, his voice steady despite the weight of the question. "Yes," Ji nodded, "and it's aimed directly at our solar system." Day took a deep breath. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, and feared, for nearly 70 years. "Send the coded alert to Earth Command," he ordered. "Tell them we've received first contact signals, and activate Protocol Silent Shield." As the message was sent, the Orang's systems went into stealth mode. Special panels on the hull absorbed all light and heat, making the ship completely invisible to any known detection methods. 3 days later, in the underground complex of Earth Defense Headquarters, Director Han Park studied the signal data with his top scientists. "Translation is at 60% confidence," said Dr. Ji, who had been recalled to Earth immediately. "It appears to be an invitation, or perhaps a greeting. They call themselves the Galactic Confederation." Han's face remained neutral, but his eyes showed concern. "And they think we're what? Pre-FTL, non-spacefaring." "Yes," Ji confirmed. "Their message suggests they want to welcome us to the galactic community. They believe we've just discovered radio communications." Han almost smiled. If only they knew. He pressed a button on his desk. A holographic display appeared, showing the solar system, and the hundreds of stealth satellites that formed a perfect cocoon around it, hiding humanity's true progress from outside observers. "Our shield has worked perfectly," said Engineer Jin Lee, who oversaw the Silent Shield project. "They have no idea about our colonies on Mars and Europa. No knowledge of the lunar shipyards. Or the fleet," added Han softly. He walked to the window that overlooked the massive underground chamber. Below, bathed in blue light, sat rows of warships, humanity's insurance policy against extinction. Each one carried enough firepower to level a continent. Each built with multiple redundant systems, armor that could withstand direct antimatter strikes, and weapons that no human conflict had ever required. "Send diplomat Su Kim to meet me," Han ordered. "We need to prepare our official first contact response." He turned back to the window. "And alert the Black Fleet commanders. I want all ships on standby." "Do you think these aliens are a threat?" Jin asked. "I don't know," Han replied honestly. "But humanity has survived this long by preparing for the worst." He looked at the signal data again. "Send out the Orang again with a diplomatic team. Tell them to maintain the facade that we're a surprised, grateful species encountering advanced life for the first time." As the others left to carry out his orders, Han remained alone, watching the silent warships below. "Let's hope we never need you," he whispered to the fleet. "But if we do..." The thought remained unfinished as he turned away, ready to greet a galaxy that had no idea what humanity had become. 1 month after the discovery of the alien beacon, a sleek silver ship entered Earth's atmosphere. Unlike human vessels with their thick armor and weapon ports, this ship was elegant and seemed almost fragile. The world watched through carefully managed news feeds as the ship landed in the specially built First Contact Center outside Seoul. Global leaders stood in a row, faces showing appropriate wonder and excitement. At the front stood Director Han Park and diplomat Soo Kim, both dressed in formal attire that hid their military backgrounds. The ship's door opened with a soft hiss. A tall figure stepped out, humanoid, but clearly alien. Its skin shimmered with a faint blue glow, and its 4 eyes blinked in sequence as it surveyed the humans. "I am Ambassador Xalter of the Galactic Confederation," it said, its voice translated through a small device at its neck. "We bring greetings to the people of Earth." Soo Kim stepped forward and bowed. "We are honored by your presence, Ambassador. I am Soo Kim, Earth's diplomatic representative." Later, in a private meeting room, Salter sat across from Han and Sue. 2 other aliens stood nearby, watching the humans with curious eyes. "Your species has great potential," Salter said. "We detected your radio signals and realized you were ready for uplift into the galactic community." Han nodded, his face a perfect mask of gratitude. "We are eager to learn. Our technology must seem very primitive to you." Xalter made a gesture that might have been a smile. "All species begin somewhere. The Confederation exists to guide developing worlds like yours. We can help you advance your technology, establish trade routes, and protect your system." "Protect?" Sue asked, pretending concern. "Is there danger in space?" The alien's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "Space is vast and mostly peaceful, but there are exceptions." He paused. "A species known as the Ravagers has been causing trouble on our outer borders. Nothing for you to worry about. They are far from here, and the Confederation fleet keeps them contained." Han and Sue exchanged a carefully rehearsed look of worry. "These Ravagers," Han said cautiously. "What do they want?" "Resources, mainly. They strip planets bare and move on." Xalter waved a hand dismissively. "But as I said, they are not your concern. The Confederation will ensure Earth's safety as you develop." After the meeting, Han and Sue walked to a secure room deep beneath the diplomatic center. "They have no idea," Sue said once the door closed. Han nodded. "And we need to keep it that way for now." He activated a screen showing the alien ship. "Their vessel has minimal weapons, defensive only. Their hull would crumple under a single railgun hit. The Confederation seems peaceful," Sue noted. "Yes, but these Ravagers concern me." Han frowned. Xalter tried to downplay the threat, which means it's probably worse than he admits. He pressed another button, revealing a hidden screen that showed Earth's real defenses. Hundreds of stealth satellites, 30 space stations disguised as small asteroids, and the pride of humanity, the Black Fleet. 97 warships built over decades, hidden in underground seas on the moon and inside hollowed-out asteroids. "How long do we maintain this charade?" Sue asked. "As long as necessary." Han's face was grim. "We'll play the part of the grateful, primitive species. We'll accept their help and learn everything we can about the galaxy." He looked at the display showing the Black Fleet. "But we'll keep our real strength hidden, just in case these friendly aliens aren't telling us everything." Sue nodded. "And if these Ravagers come here?" Han's eyes hardened. "Then they'll learn what humanity is truly capable of." Outside, Ambassador Xalter gazed at the blue sky, unaware that beneath the surface of Earth's moon, weapons that could tear his civilization apart waited silently in the darkness. 1 week after Ambassador Xalter's arrival, Director Han Park called a secret meeting. 5 people sat around a table in a room deep underground. The walls were thick concrete, blocking all signals. No recordings were allowed. "What we discussed today does not leave this room," Han said, looking at each person. The group included Soo Kim, Engineer Jin Lee, Admiral Ta Ho, and General Mina Yu. Han pressed a button. The 3D image appeared above the table, a detailed map of human space defenses. "The Confederation believes we have no space warfare capability," Han said. This advantage must be protected at all costs. Admiral Ta leaned forward. My analysis of their ships confirms what we suspected. Confederation vessels are built for speed and efficiency, not combat. Their weapons are designed for precision strikes, not full-scale war. They fight like surgeons, General Mina added. We built our ships to fight like desperate survivors. Jin activated his tablet, sending new images to the display. A massive ship appeared, angular, dark, and bristling with weapon ports. The Baekdu *, our flagship, Jin said with pride. Compared to Confederation cruisers, it's 5 times larger, with armor 20 times thicker. The others studied the ship with knowing eyes. Why did we build them like this? Sue asked, though she already knew the answer. Because 70 years ago, we intercepted signals, Han said quietly. Signals that showed entire civilizations being wiped out by an unknown force. Our leaders made a choice: prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. Jin swiped through more images. Human warships are built on a different philosophy. Confederation ships are elegant, minimal crew, A-driven, efficient. Our ships are walking apocalypses. The display showed cutaway diagrams of the Baekdu's interior. Triple redundant systems, Jin explained. If the main reactor fails, there are 2 backups. If those fail, there's a 4th emergency system. Each section can be sealed and operate independently. A Confederation ship hit by a major weapon would shatter. Our ships are designed to keep fighting even with half their mass gone. The weapons? General Mina asked. Jin showed detailed specs. Railguns that fire at 30% light speed. Plasma cannons that can melt through 10 meters of tungsten steel. Nuclear missiles, antimatter torpedoes, and gravity disruptors. These Ravagers that Ambassador Xalter mentioned, Han said. They worry me. The way he spoke of them. Too casual, too dismissive. He's hiding something. The Confederation doesn't know what real war is, Admiral Ta said. They haven't faced extinction. We've lived with that fear for generations. Han stood and walked to a wall-sized screen. It activated to show a live feed of the lunar shipyards hidden beneath the surface of the moon. Hundreds of workers moved around a massive warship under construction. Humanity built these ships hoping never to use them, Han said. But if these Ravagers are what I fear they might be, the same force that destroyed those civilizations from the ancient signals, then the Confederation is not prepared for what's coming. Sue looked troubled. Should we tell them? Show them our true capabilities? Han shook his head. Not yet. First, we need to learn more. If the Ravagers are truly a threat, then yes, we'll reveal ourselves. But only when we're sure. And if they're not? General Mina asked. Han's face was grim. Then we keep our ships hidden, learn what we can from the Confederation, and hope that our paranoia was just that. Paranoia. As they left the meeting, Jin stayed behind with Han. Director, Jin said quietly, the Chiolima * is ready for deployment. Just in case. Han nodded. Let's hope just in case never comes. But deep down, they both knew it would. 3 months passed since first contact. Earth played its role perfectly, grateful, eager to learn, and seemingly harmless. The Confederation provided basic technology that humans had secretly mastered decades ago. Ambassador Xalter seemed pleased with Earth's progress. But everything changed on a quiet Tuesday morning. Director Han was reviewing reports when his emergency communicator buzzed. The caller was Sue Kim, who was meeting with Xalter. Director, you need to come now, Sue said, her voice tense but controlled. 20 minutes later, Han entered the meeting room. Xalter stood by the window, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly. A sign of distress, Han had learned. Director Park. Xalter said, I bring troubling news. Han nodded calmly. Please share it, Ambassador. The Ravagers have attacked a Confederation outpost in the Proxima Centauri system. Xalter's voice was tight. It is the closest they have ever come to Sol. How serious is the attack? Han asked, keeping his voice level despite the alarm bells ringing in his mind. Proxima Centauri was just over 4 light-years away, practically next door in galactic terms. 3 colony ships destroyed. The outpost heavily damaged. Salter made a gesture of regret. I tell you this not to alarm you, but to inform you that Confederation defense vessels will be moving through your system. We will, of course, ensure Earth's safety. Sue and Han exchanged a quick glance. Perhaps we can help, Sue suggested. Salter made the alien equivalent of a polite smile. Your offer is kind, but unnecessary. Your technology is, well, you have only just discovered faster-than-light theory. The Confederation has been handling the Ravagers for centuries. Han nodded. Of course. But even primitive allies can sometimes offer assistance. I appreciate your spirit, Salter said, but this is not your concern. The Confederation will handle it. After Salter left, Han and Sue moved quickly to the secure room. Proxima Centauri, Sue said, her calm facade breaking. They're right at our doorstep. Han activated the emergency protocol. Screens lit up around them, showing military commanders joining the call. The Ravagers have attacked Proxima Centauri, Han announced. The Confederation has declined our help, as expected. Admiral Tay's face appeared on the main screen. We've been monitoring their communications. 3 Confederation cruisers were destroyed before they could even fire a shot. The Ravagers have technology that outmatches the Confederation. But does it outmatch us? General Minna asked. Jin Lee brought up technical data. Based on what we've seen of Confederation ships and how easily they were defeated, I believe our vessels could match or exceed Ravager capabilities. Our armor alone would give us an advantage they're not expecting. Han stood silent for a moment, weighing the decision. Revealing humanity's true power would change everything. The careful deception they had maintained would end forever. The Ravagers destroyed 3 colony ships, he said finally. Ships carrying civilians. And they're now 1 star system away from Earth. Everyone waited for his decision. Admiral Tay, prepare the Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk for deployment, Han ordered. Captain Da Kim will command. We'll present it to the Confederation as our prototype, our first attempt at a defensive vessel. Sue looked concerned. The Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk, is one of our medium warships. It's still far beyond what the Confederation thinks we're capable of. Han nodded. Good. It's time they learned that humanity isn't as helpless as they believe. His eyes hardened. If the Ravagers are coming, they should know what waits for them here. Across the solar system, hidden shipyards hummed with activity. In a massive underground dock beneath the lunar surface, the lights came on around a sleek bark vessel. The Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk, was waking up. The time for hiding was over. Captain Da Kim stood on the bridge of the Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk. The ship had been in storage for 5 years, waiting for this moment. Now it hummed with power as the crew prepared for its first real mission. All systems ready, Captain, said Commander Jun, the first officer. Day nodded. Prepare for surface launch. The massive doors above the lunar hangar slid open. For the first time, the Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk, would be seen by outsiders. No more hiding. Ambassador Xalter has been invited to observe from Earth Defense Station 1, Jun reported. Day smiled slightly. I imagine he's in for quite a surprise. The Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk, rose from its lunar cradle, thrusters glowing blue against the black sky. At 600 meters long, it was 5 times larger than the biggest Confederation ship Salter had shown them. Its dark hull was covered in weapon ports, and its shape was built for war, not beauty. On Earth Defense Station 1, Ambassador Xalter stood with Sue Kim and Director Han. As the Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk, appeared, Salter's 4 eyes widened in shock. What is that? He asked, his translator unable to hide his surprise. The Asterisk, Chiolima Asterisk, Han said calmly. Our first defensive vessel. But this is impossible. Salter stammered. Your species couldn't have built this. The size alone. We've been working on it for some time, Sue explained with a small smile. We didn't want to disappoint you with our early attempts. Salter stared as the massive ship approached the station. Those are weapon ports, he said. Many weapon ports. Han nodded. Yes, we understood from your descriptions that the Ravagers are dangerous. We built accordingly. No Confederation civilian observer vessel has that many weapons, Salter said, his voice almost a whisper. We take threats to our existence very seriously, Han replied. 2 hours later, a small Confederation ship docked with the Chiolima*. 3 Confederation officers came aboard to serve as advisors. Thaw, everyone knew they were really there to watch. Engineer Ta Min met them in the docking bay. Welcome aboard, he said with a bow. I will show you to your quarters, then give you a tour of the public areas. The senior officer, Commander Vex, looked around with wide eyes. The interior is substantial. Ta nodded. Yes, the Chiolima*, has living quarters for 500 crew, though we operate with 300. 500. Another officer gasped. Our largest ships carry 50. Ta led them through the corridors. The aliens noticed that each section had sealed doors, redundant power systems, and weapon lockers. Why are there weapons stored throughout the ship? Vex asked. For crew defense if the ship is boarded, Ta explained casually. The tour ended at the ship's Combat Information Center. Screens showed weapon systems, defensive capabilities, and power levels that made the Confederation officers exchange worried glances. This ammunition store, Vex said, pointing to a display. It shows enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Ta nodded. Yes. Is that not sufficient? More than sufficient, Vex replied weakly. Later, Vex sent an urgent message to Confederation Command. Humans have deceived us. Their technology far exceeds our estimates. The ship they've revealed could outfight 3 Confederation cruisers. And worse, they call this a medium vessel. I believe they have others, possibly larger. Recommend extreme caution in all future dealings. In the captain's quarters, Dai Kim reviewed the mission objectives. The Chiolima* would travel to the edge of the Proxima Centauri system, observe the Ravager forces, and, if necessary, engage them. As the ship prepared to leave Earth's orbit, Da looked at the stars. Let's show them what humanity can do, he said quietly. News of the Chiolima's victory spread quickly. The Confederation Council called an emergency meeting. For the first time, human representatives were invited to attend. Sue Kim and Director Han Park stood before the council in a great meeting hall on the Confederation capital world. The room held representatives from 27 different species. Ambassador Xalter sat with the other Confederation diplomats, his 4 eyes watching the humans carefully. We have brought you here to discuss recent events, said Chief Counselor Zal, a tall being with golden skin. Your ship, this Chiolima, has done what 3 of our cruisers could not. Sue Kim stepped forward. We are glad we could help protect innocent lives. Help? Another counselor asked. You didn't help. You revealed a military capability far beyond what you claimed to possess. You deceived us. Director Han nodded. Yes, we did. The honesty surprised the council into silence. For 70 years, Han continued, humanity has been preparing for war. Not because we wanted it, but because we feared it might find us anyway. He activated a small device. A hologram appeared, showing ancient signals, the same ones humanity had detected decades ago. In the year 2085, we detected these transmissions, Han explained. They came from a system 120 light years away. We didn't understand the language, but we understood what was happening. The hologram showed planetary defense systems failing, cities burning, a civilization dying. We saw extinction happening in real time, Sue said quietly, and we decided that would not be our fate. These signals, Xalter said, leaning forward. They match Ravager attack patterns. Han nodded. We suspected as much. The signals showed a force that didn't negotiate, didn't accept surrender, and didn't leave survivors. So humanity united. We stopped fighting each other and started building. Another hologram appeared, the early designs for Earth's warships. Our ships weren't built for the clean, precise conflicts the Confederation engages in, Han explained. They were built for a single purpose, survival at any cost. So when we found the beacon, Su continued, we already had ships. We already had weapons. We already had plans. The beacon didn't introduce humanity to the stars, Han said. It just announced our presence to them. Chief Counselor Zhao looked troubled. Why maintain the deception after first contact? Why pretend to be less advanced? Because that's what we've always done, Su replied. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong provides an advantage. We needed to learn about the galaxy, about you, about threats like the Ravagers. The asterisk, Chiolima asterisk, Han added, is not our strongest ship. It's not even close. A murmur went through the council. How many ships do you have? Saltar asked. 97, Han said. From small patrol craft to dreadnoughts that make the asterisk, Chiolima asterisk, look like a shuttle. Impossible, a counselor whispered. Han smiled slightly. With respect, counselor, your people have enjoyed peace for so long that you've forgotten how quickly progress happens when survival is at stake. The Ravagers have destroyed 15 Confederation outposts in the past year, Su said. Your reports show they're getting bolder, stronger. Your ships can't stop them. But ours can, Han finished. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. What are you proposing? Chief Counselor Zhao asked finally. An alliance, Han said simply. Real this time. No more deception. Humanity offers its ships, its weapons, and its warriors to help defend the Confederation. And in return, Saltar asked. Knowledge, Su replied. Technology, trade, and a place in the galactic community, not as a primitive species to be uplifted, but as equals. As the council debated, Su and Han exchanged a glance. The truth was finally out. Humanity had revealed itself to the stars. For better or worse, there was no going back. 1 week after the council meeting, the Confederation leaders came to Earth. For the first time, they would see humanity's true power. Director Han led the delegation to the dark side of the moon. A massive hangar door opened in what had appeared to be solid rock. Inside was a sight that made even the most composed alien representatives gasp. Row after row of warships, each larger and more deadly than the asterisk, Chiolima asterisk. Some were still under construction, with thousands of workers moving across their hulls. This is Luna Base 1, Han explained. We have 4 more bases like this across the solar system. Ambassador Xalter stared at the nearest ship. It was 3 times the size of the asterisk, Chiolima asterisk. What is that? He asked quietly. The asterisk Vectu asterisk, Han replied. Our flagship. Commander Min Choi met them at the entrance to the command center. She bowed to the visitors. Commander Min will show you our defense capabilities, Han said. She commands our strategic forces. Inside the command center, the aliens saw a massive holographic display of the galaxy. Red dots marked known Ravager attacks. The Ravagers follow a pattern, Min explained. They attack outposts first, then move to major worlds. Based on their movements, we believe they will strike these systems next. She highlighted 3 Confederation worlds. How can you be so certain? Chief Counselor Zhao asked. Because they're logical, Min said. They target resource-rich worlds with minimal defenses. Classic predator behavior. Min activated a simulation showing Ravager ships attacking a Confederation planet. Then she added human warships to the scenario. 1 asterisk, Chiolima asterisk class vessel, can defend against 12 Ravager ships, she explained. The asterisk Baekdu asterisk can handle twice that number. Our strategy would position human ships at key locations throughout Confederation space. You would spread your fleet so thin? Zoltar asked. Not as thin as you might think, Min replied with a small smile. The display changed to show small dots at various points throughout human-controlled space. These are automated defense platforms, Min said. We have built over 3,000 of them. Each one is equipped with weapons comparable to a small Confederation cruiser. They form a defensive grid around our territory. The aliens exchanged shocked glances. How did you build all this? One of them asked. The resources required. Unity, Su Kim said simply. When we detected those signals 70 years ago, Earth's nations realized we faced a common threat. We stopped fighting each other and focused all our efforts on survival. Your species managed to unify completely. Chief Counselor Zhao asked in disbelief. Not completely, Han admitted, but enough to do what needed to be done. Later, the delegation watched as 5 human ships performed combat drills. Their speed, firepower, and coordination impressed even the most skeptical observers. As they returned to the meeting room, Chief Counselor Zhao addressed the humans. We have discussed your proposal, he said. The Confederation accepts your offer of alliance. On equal terms, Han specified. Zhao nodded. Yes. On equal terms. Then we have a coalition, Su said, extending her hand in the human gesture of agreement. Zhao touched his hand to hers. We do. The formal treaty was signed that day. Human ships would defend Confederation worlds. Confederation technology would be shared freely with Earth. A new era of cooperation began. As the aliens departed, Han and Su stood watching the Vectu preparing for its first mission. Do you think they still fear us? Su asked quietly. Yes, Han replied honestly. And they should. But they need us now. And we need them, Su reminded him. Han nodded. True allies recognize each other's strengths and weaknesses. They fear our warships, but they'll come to appreciate why we built them. As the massive ship's engines glowed to life, Han added softly, the Ravagers are about to learn what happens when you threaten a species that refuses to be extinguished. While human warships moved into position throughout Confederation space, Dr. Ji-sun had not stopped studying the original beacon. Something about it bothered her. The mathematical sequence didn't quite match Confederation communication patterns. She worked day and night in her lab on the Orang, the same ship that had found the beacon months ago. Captain Da Kim, temporarily relieved from commanding the Chiolima joined her. You look troubled, Daz said as he entered the lab. Jai looked up from her screens. This beacon, it's not what we thought. What do you mean? Jay pointed to the original signal pattern. I've compared it to all known Confederation communications. It doesn't match. Not even close. Could it be from another species? Dai asked. Yes, and I think I know which one. Jay pulled up the ancient signals that Earth had detected 70 years ago. Look at the mathematical structure. It's similar. Dai's eyes widened. You think the beacon came from the same civilization that was destroyed. But that's impossible. Those signals were from 70 years ago. Not impossible, G said. Just unlikely. Unless. Unless what? Unless they sent it before they were destroyed. A warning shot across time and space. 3 days later, Jip presented her findings to Director Han, Su Kim, and the Confederation representatives. The beacon was not sent by the Confederation, she explained. It was sent by a species called the Terrans. They were wiped out by the Ravagers 200 years ago. Ambassador Xalter looked shocked. The Terrans? We have only historical records of them. They were a peaceful, highly advanced civilization. They sent the beacon as a warning, Jig continued. I've fully decoded it now. It contains information about the Ravagers, their tactics, their technology, their weaknesses. A warning to whom? Chief Counselor Zal asked. To anyone who might listen, Jai replied. The mathematical sequence wasn't an invitation. It was an SOS, a call for help that took 2 centuries to reach us. And by pure chance, it reached a species capable of answering that call, Han said quietly. Not chance, J corrected. Design. The beacon was specifically directed toward systems that showed particular radiation signatures, signatures produced by nuclear testing and early space travel. The Terrans were looking for young, developing military species. They were looking for us, Sue realized. Or someone like us. Yes, G nodded. Someone paranoid enough, resourceful enough, and dangerous enough to stand against the Ravagers. Ambassador Xaltar looked troubled. The Confederation has always valued peace above all. Our ships are built for exploration and defense, not war. And that's why the Ravagers have been winning, Han said. They're predators. They target the weak. They avoid the strong. The Terrans knew this, G added. Their final act was to create and launch beacons toward dozens of star systems, hoping to find a species willing to do what they couldn't, fight back with overwhelming force. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. What do we do now? Chief Counselor Zal asked finally. We use the information in the beacon, Han said firmly. The Terrans included detailed scans of Ravager ships, their weaknesses, their patterns. And then? Xaltar asked. Then humanity does what it does best, Sue said. We fight to survive. Not just for ourselves now, but for the whole Confederation. As the meeting ended, long-range sensors detected a large Ravager fleet moving toward a major Confederation world. Dozens of ships, far more than had ever been seen together. They know we allied with you, Han told the Confederation representatives. They're responding to the threat. Can your ship stop so many? Xaltar asked, his voice betraying his fear. Han nodded to a communications officer, who sent a simple command. Throughout the solar system, massive hangar doors opened. The entire Black Fleet, all 97 warships, powered up their engines. The Ravagers wanted to find easy prey, Han said, as the mighty fleet assembled. Instead, they found humanity. Across the galaxy, the children of Earth prepared for war.